Hi guys. I had already made myself dinner, and then I realized what I made myself was really delicious. So I decided I wanted to have that as my lunch tomorrow instead of the other meals that I've prepped because I still had all the ingredients. So what I did, I'm going to show you in the 21 Day Fix portion containers what I ended up doing. So I took this green container, which is for vegetables, and I threw in some broccoli, and I really shoved it in there. And I did that almost full because then I've got some green onions. Oh, my bad. I'm using these for the other recipe. There's the mushrooms. So then I added in about a half a thing of mushrooms. So this would end up being just slightly over one green container if I had fit it all in together. So I throw those in the pan, and then I actually use some minced garlic as well. And the pan, I had about a teaspoon or so of avocado oil. This stuff. Which I happened to find at Costco for $8, by the way. And then we're just going to let that hang out. Turn that down a little. So what else is going to go in this when this is done sauteing a little bit is chicken that I made the other night. I just slightly seasoned it with some salt, garlic powder, and pepper. And I use that in several recipes. So I mix it up throughout the week when I get bored of one. I have a really lightly seasoned chicken that I can mix with anything else or add more seasoning to. So we're just going to let these hang out. Break up some of these bigger pieces here. Okay. Now, while that's going, I'm going to show you what I do with my other chicken. So I actually end up making a salad. So I've got this great spring mix box. Take my container, and same thing, we're going to start off with the greens. The nice thing about lettuce is that it squishes down a lot. So you can really pack a lot in there. Okay, so as long as the lid fits, you can eat all that. That's one portion of a green. You unpack it into there. And just so you can see what it looks like in my container, that's one green portion. So this is what I actually had for my lunch today. I'm making the same salad I had for lunch. Got some shredded carrot. That much shredded carrot. So just like, you know, pinch or two. Then I sliced up one green onion. So also throwing that in there. And then I'm going to dump that in. And I do believe I had a few mushrooms sliced open. Yeah, I did like 3 of them this morning. So altogether, that would have been like half of the green container. So you have 1.5 grains. And then what I end up doing with the chicken is I use that same chicken and then I sit it on top of my salad. So now you have a really great salad. And just so you know, that glass container, I happen to have measured these out and then put them into those to-goes. It's exactly a red, so that makes it really helpful. Red is the protein, so that's a nice little trick that I learned. I can just fill up my little glass guy, and it's the right portion. So now my salad's done. I have homemade dressing that I use, and that is how much dressing that I use. But I'm not going to do that right now, since this is for tomorrow as well. I am going to add in this chicken though, and let it continue to cook with the mushrooms and broccoli. And I'll add the tiniest bit of water just to let that broccoli kind of soak it up a little. Let it steam. All right. And at this point, now that everything's in there, I'm going to add just the tiniest bit of salt. And then pepper. So there you have it. And then this ends up being, so this was like just a little over 1 green and 1 red, which is protein. So 1 serving of vegetables and 1 serving of protein. And since this is just going to end up going back in the fridge, I'm just going to let this sit on low, warm up real quick, and then it's ready for tomorrow. So that's how you can use your 21-day fix containers to make a few different meals. So it tastes different. I actually added sriracha to this before I ate it, and it was so delicious. So you can use a lot of the same ingredients, but use it in different ways, and that's what I try to do when I meal prep. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and have a great night.